Upon entering the narrative realm of the novel, I successfully saved the unfortunate silent female protagonist. Our relationship blossomed as we deeply valued one another, pledging to share our lives indefinitely. However, just as I believed we would enjoy everlasting happiness, a catastrophic fire altered our destiny. In that tragic moment, she chose to abandon me. Right before my eyes, she grasped another man's hand and fled without a second glance, leaving me alone as the flames consumed everything around me. Transformed into a spirit, I vowed to inflict upon her a fate more agonizing than death itself. After my demise in the inferno, I found myself bound as a ghost, endlessly following Lily day and night, unable to part from her presence. Numerous attempts to distance myself from her were thwarted by an invisible barrier that violently repelled me each time I tried to break free. Exhausted by these repeated failures, I surrendered to my fate, accepting that I would remain tethered to Lily wherever she went. In the quiet depths of the night, under a canopy of twinkling stars, everything was still. Lily sat serenely at her desk, engrossed in writing her latest novel. The soft blue glow from her computer highlighted her gentle eyes and elegant features, reminiscent of distant mountains. Her delicate fingers danced across the keyboard, revealing a scar on her wrist, a burn she had sustained 3 days prior while saving Kenji. 3 days ago, simultaneously at the same mall, was the day I perished. Fire and smoke devastated the area just meters away from me. Despite my desperate cries, Lily didn't hear me. She wrapped Kenji in her wet clothes and pulled him to safety, while I was left behind. As the fire spread to my side, a fallen guardrail post struck my right foot, the intense pain immobilizing me. Kenji was not far ahead. The panicked crowd knocked me to the ground. Gritting my teeth, I half pushed myself up and shouted, "Kenji, I'm here!" In the next moment, a graceful figure appeared, a silhouette I'd observed for nearly a decade, familiar to my very core. Lily arrived. Her presence instantly calmed my tumultuous spirit, and I exhaled deeply. However, she didn't notice me first. She rushed directly to Kenji, sweat beading on her forehead as she struggled to pull him free. Without a word, I called out, "Lily." Thick smoke enveloped my senses, forcing me to cover my nose and mouth under the oppressive haze. Unable to speak, I could only desperately shake the large orange bell on my wrist. The pure copper bell rang crisply, its clear sound intermittently piercing the cacophony of cries and screams. Lily continued her relentless efforts, her small frame trembling slightly, yet maintaining intense focus on Kenji. How could Lily, that gentle soul, not hear me amidst the chaos? The flames raged on, another section of the building collapsed, and I clung tightly to the bell as my strength waned. The final image I saw in life was Lily pulling Kenji away, her figure slowly fading from sight. The fire intensified, burning more fiercely, and my blurred vision was eventually swallowed by smoke until everything went completely dark. I tasted the salty moisture at the corner of my lips as death claimed me, still holding the bell, a gift she had given me on the day I was set to study abroad. She had smiled warmly, her cheeks flushed, and tied the adorable cat-shaped bell to my wrist with her own hands. Being mute, Lily couldn't speak, but she had awkwardly gestured to me, indicating that if I missed her, I should shake the bell to let her know she was always by my side. At the time, I had laughed and promised to do so, enchanted by her innocence and charm. However, after returning to my home country, we remained inseparable until 3 days ago, when Lily broke our promise for the first time. During my near-death experience, a cold, indifferent electronic voice echoed in my ears. "Host, do you regret it? It was the system responsible for sending me to this world to pursue Lily. After completing the mission, I chose to remain in this world and grow old with her." The voice continued, "Host, I cannot save you here. After your body dies, your consciousness will persist until it detaches and returns to your original world. Additionally, I can grant one wish within the system's capabilities." Lily had deleted the novel she had been working on all night, clearly indicating her troubled state. Her short stories were well known, and when we argued, she would write revenge thrillers to retaliate against me. Conversely, when I managed to uplift her spirits, she would craft sweet stories to warm her readers. Her dedication was unwavering, often revising a single chapter multiple times before moving forward. When she struggled to find inspiration, I would sit on her lap, gently holding her from behind to help her refine her character's personalities and values, gradually outlining potential story developments. Sometimes, when her obsessive-compulsive tendencies prevented her from finishing her writing before sleep, I would make her coffee, prepare a midnight snack, and stay by her side to pull an all-nighter together. Now, I watched her struggle to the point of tears with a cold, detached gaze. As I floated before her, my hollow eyes reflected pure hatred. I clenched my teeth and shouted, "You scum girl, I've been so good to you. Are you worthy of me? I curse you to a bad death." Of course, Lily couldn't hear a ghost's words. She pouted, picked up her phone, and opened the chat app. At the top of her friends list was the pinned ID, little_Wong, which was me. "My name is Alex. I haven't replied to your messages for 3 days." The room was filled with floating leaves, so she decided to sit at her desk to see what I was up to. After staring for a while, Lily actually smiled. She reached out her fingertip to touch my dog Avatar, a slight curve forming on her lips. A WeChat mini-program notification appeared. Lily poked little Wong's head and said, "Poke your doggy head." Lily sent a message. "Can you call me when you're not too busy?" Moments later, she followed up with, "Can you check in with me?" After waiting a long time without a reply, Lily prepared to start a video call but hesitated and closed it. Before my business trip, I had informed her that I would be very busy, dealing with difficult clients that required 24-hour on-call availability. "I might not respond to messages promptly, and you should inform me before calling instead of calling unexpectedly." After a while, she couldn't help but poke my avatar again. Notification. Lily poked your tombstone and said, "Get up and dance." I floated with my phone on the ceiling, laughing with mischievous tears. Yes, having control over the phone was my last wish to the system. Initially, I had wished my soul could leave Lily, but the system said it couldn't. For some reason, I wasn't curious about Lily's reaction upon discovering my death. Whatever emotions she displayed, regret or pain, I felt nothing but disgust. Lily paused, her worried frown easing. Then, she covered her mouth and laughed softly. She sent, "Alex, this is so unlucky." Lily rested her chin on her hand, thought for a long time, carefully searched for an emoji, and sent a picture of someone angrily rubbing a dog's head. She added, "Miss you." I floated in the air, pinched her cheeks, and laughed uproariously. The smile gradually faded, and my expression finally turned completely cold. I spoke to myself. "I'm really sorry. Alex is already dead. How can a dead person call you back? Have you forgotten? I'm just 1 meter away from you. But you couldn't see me in your moment of life and death. I'm your boyfriend, Lily. I won't forgive you unless you die too." This is the 4th day I've been forced to remain beside Lily as a ghost. Lily's life is simple. Sending me good morning messages, writing novels, eating, sleeping, and sending me good night messages. Lately, her state has become increasingly restless and anxious, repeatedly editing and deleting her completed novels, leaving a pile of scrap drafts everywhere. One night, Lily woke up startled from her sleep. I was peacefully sleeping until her movements woke me up, and I began cursing, wanting to drag her over to give her a good scare. The regret is that I can't touch anything. I'm speechless. I'm a ghost, and yet I can't find peace. Frustrated, I gritted my teeth and turned over to continue sleeping. I don't know if other ghosts need sleep, but I, Alex, definitely do. Even in death, I must be the king of sleep. Lily lay hunched over the bed, perhaps having had a nightmare, breathing rapidly. Her face was pale, sweat covering her body. She couldn't speak, only gasping for air. Her dim eyes showed a hint of loneliness. Lily sent, "Alex, miss you." My phone received her message once again. Lily wiped the corner of her eye, took out the photo of me from the bedside table, and looked at it for a long time before finally couldn't resist calling me. Beep, beep. After a few rings, the call ended. No one answered. She held the hem of her dress, pacing back and forth in the room. Her profile was beautiful and captivating, but her eyes were full of worry and confusion. Her youthful pupils sparkled like a deep and bright lake with gentle ripples. Those eyes were still beautiful and charming, just like the first time I saw her, unchanged in the slightest. I had spent 10 years pursuing her, embedding my shadow into those cold and detached eyes, so that when Lily looked at me, there was finally some warmth and tenderness in her gaze. I believed Lily loved me. Unfortunately, true feelings revealed in life and death moments, and years of growing affection couldn't compete with her long-held crush. Lily. Oh, Lily, how could you? How could you fail to notice me right in front of you? Is Kenji your only true love engraved in your bones? As long as he's around, you can no longer see anyone else. I, Alex, will forever remain just a supporting character. It's strange. Being a ghost can still feel pain. The first time as a ghost, I didn't understand. I reached toward my heart, the place that once would beat passionately every time I saw Lily. Now empty, nothing left, only a handful of ashes. Lily sends me messages every day, although I'm a ghost. Thanks to the system's backdoor, I could return, but I choose not to. I find various ways to tweak the messages I send through WeChat's poke feature to tease her, floating around the room and having a blast. WeChat mini-program notifications appeared. Lily poked your wooden fish. Alex's good karma +1. Lily patted your ex's tombstone and lit incense. Lily poked our matchmaker's red string. Oops, accidentally broke it. Lily's eyes drooped slightly as she stared at my changing messages, pondering for a long time before finally cautiously sending, Alex, did I do something wrong? Damn it, I'm furious. Did I do something wrong? This scum girl is acting innocent. I zoomed over to her, grinning fiercely and making a proper ghost face at Lily. Then I slapped my hand down, trying to give her a couple of slaps. After all, slapping is what I'm best at. But the slap missed, and I almost did a somersault myself. I'm so angry. Even as a ghost, I've lost the ability to slap people. I gritted my teeth and roared, Scum girl, don't call me by my name. Go find your Kenji. Lily frowned slightly. In the height of summer, a chill suddenly surged through her, and she involuntarily shivered. Lily took a sip of warm water, changed out of her nightdress, tied up her hair, and for the first time in 4 days, I saw her go out. The mall was filled with a romantic atmosphere. Today was Valentine's Day. The diamond pendant I had prepared for her was still in the hidden compartment of the study, and I never got the chance to give it to her because I have no lover, only sacrifices, floating behind Lily all the way. I saw her follow a store assistant to pick up a pre-ordered strawberry cheesecake. Lily likes strawberries, and I like cheese. In past years, we would buy them to share, but this time she was probably buying it to eat with Kenji. Thinking of this, my anger flared. I vigorously tugged at her ponytail back and forth. You too, scum. Eat up, it's fine if you both get food poisoning. Lily was oblivious, thinking the mall's cold air was too chilly. She frowned slightly. After carefully putting away the cake, she entered a men's clothing store. Due to communication barriers, Lily rarely went out, so today was unprecedented. A pang of sadness filled my hollow eye sockets. Lily was meticulously selecting items one by one, typing while gesturing to the store assistant, seemingly explaining Kenji's dressing style, so angry that I wanted to smash the store for her right there. I made a spitting face at the store, but all that came out was air. I quickly tried to quell my anger, missing the words on Lily's screen. She wrote, male about 178 centimeters tall, very slim, fair skin, loves to laugh, likes blue, for a loved one. The store assistant smiled and said, you must love him very much. Lily's eyes suddenly softened as if melted. She wrote, thank you. He is someone worth my love. Lily didn't go home. She went straight to the central hospital. Buying a gift to give directly to the person involved seemed reasonable, but it wasn't. Lily, do you even remember that I, Alex, am your boyfriend? When I first became a ghost, I could float effortlessly. But today, I couldn't move at all. I curled up in a corner outside the hospital room, closing my eyes and covering my ears, feeling despondent and sorrowful. When the system first transported me into this world, I was a tough guy with no interest in romance and love stories in this book. The system assigned me to play a minor character unrelated to the main plot, the heir of a wealthy family. In the real world, I was also from a rich family, so I wasn't attached to this storyline. I just planned to finish the plot and slip away to continue my comfortable life. But fate had other plans. The moment I met Lily, I realized that love at first sight wasn't just a myth. I was 19 and Lily was 18. She had long, jet black hair, bright and kind eyes, and stunningly beautiful features. I couldn't take my eyes off her, my mind consumed by a single thought. I, Alex Turner, am going to win her over. She is destined to be my future wife, and I will cherish her deeply. After numerous romantic gestures in my mind, I began to inquire around and discovered that Lily was actually mute. I learned that when she was a child, she had a high fever, and her poor family couldn't afford timely medical treatment, which damaged her vocal cords, leaving her unable to speak. After some more digging, good news, Lily was single. Bad news, Lily already had a first love boyfriend named Kenji. Good news, Kenji was the male lead, and Lily was just a female supporting character who loved but couldn't have him. Bad news, Lily deeply loved Kenji from the bottom of her heart. Sai, the main couple, was mutually in love, and I, a poor supporting character, was meddling for no reason. After meticulously studying the world's plot provided by the system, I was confident and decided to pursue Lily. My character, Alex, was designed to be exceptionally lovable, ensuring that I would win Lily over in one fell swoop. I first approached Kenji, became his close friend, and through him, naturally met Lily. At that time, Lily and Kenji had already broken up. Kenji had met his dream girl, Sophia, the Sue family's precious daughter. The two were entangled in a love-hate relationship. As for Lily, because she loved Kenji so much, even after their breakup, she continued to foolishly wait for Kenji to come back and reconcile with her. She was mute, of humble status, daring not to ask for much, yet unable to let go. Whenever Kenji had an argument with the female lead, Lily would glance at them, avoid eye contact, and quietly wait by the side. The female lead was the wealthy heiress, a spoiled and willful young lady who, before she matured, had been quite bratty and had once gone as far as to bully and humiliate Lily out of jealousy. With both parents deceased and coming from a poor background, how could Lily possibly compete with someone like Sophia, the rich heiress? She silently endured all the injustices, genuinely loving Kenji from her heart, never complaining once from start to finish. Oh, what a pitiable girl, loving so humbly and deeply. My first official meeting with Lily was at my birthday party. Miss Sue and Master Ito came to my Turner family home to attend my birthday celebration. Lily was set up to embarrass herself at the party. Sophia deliberately sidelined Kenji, holding her wine glass high, sneering coldly. She said, "Lily, look at you, trying to be Cinderella, sneaking in to catch a rich husband. Have you thought about what would happen if you messed up Master Turner's birthday party? You'll regret it." The crowd surrounded Lily, gossiping and pointing fingers. She was dressed plainly, her figure thin, unable to speak up for herself, her eyes and eyebrows full of grievance. I was dressed impeccably, as they say, dressed for the job you want. And this tailored suit made me look instantly sophisticated. I adjusted my hairstyle, straightened my watch, and thought to myself, with such a dashing look, Lily should be immediately flocking to me, begging me to take her as my girlfriend. However, as I walked down the stairs, I saw Lily being humiliated. I clenched my fists, filled with anger. Who dares to bully my wife? I loosened my blue tie, stood outside the crowd, and shouted, "What are you all doing?" Men and women approached to flatter me, but I ignored them all, pretending it was my first time meeting Lily. I walked up to her and politely asked, "Miss, who are you and what's your name?" Up close, I wanted to pick her up and take her straight to the civil affairs office. This girl was absolutely stunning, as beautiful as a fairy. Suppressing my excitement, I smiled and said, "I'm Alex." Lily was taken aback, nodding coldly. I was speechless. I took her hand enthusiastically and said, "I'm Kenji's friend." "You're Kenji's friend too, right? So we're friends now with Master Turner's favor." Envious glances were cast towards Lily from all around. Sophia's eyes glanced over me with a hint of malice as she sneered. "She's really lucky." Lily gently brushed my hand away, remaining calm. Her gaze was cool and detached, like water leaving no trace, not moved by my overture. Undeterred, I continued to introduce myself passionately, saying, "You can call me Alex. Lily, you're just my type. I like you." But Lily remained cold and distant, pulling out her phone to type a few words. "Hello, have you seen Kenji? I'm looking for him." She was worried about Kenji, constantly thinking about and missing him. I gritted my teeth, smiling even brighter. The party ended. Sophia scoffed. "You've taken a liking to her. Our families were part of the same social circle." Having known each other since childhood, though we were just acquaintances, I didn't hesitate to speak frankly. "Lily is going to be my future wife. If I hear you talking about her again, don't blame me for turning my back on you." Sophia didn't expect me to be so direct. She snorted coldly. "Wife? Yeah, right. People like you. When you meet someone you like, you just play around with them. But Master Turner, how does it feel to like someone who doesn't love you back?" I couldn't be bothered to argue with her, so I said, "When your clothes get wet, do you want everyone to get soaked?" "So you're tired of being played by some other master and came to complain to me?" "Sorry, I don't have time to listen to your gossip. Not interested." In the first 18 years of Lily's life, Kenji was the only person who treated her well. They grew up supporting each other in the orphanage, and I could understand the bond and friendship between Lily and Kenji. I was envious, but not exactly jealous. Anyway, Lily's future would definitely include me, Alex. I was certain. I wanted her for the rest of her life. From then on, I embarked on a relentless pursuit of Lily. I specifically learned sign language for her, creating various chance encounters. Lily was an extremely shy girl, but that didn't matter. I was thick-skinned and persistent, perfect at clinging on. On New Year's Eve, Lily was all alone in her rented apartment. I knocked on her door, sneaking in when she wasn't paying attention. I barged in, shouting, "I'm starving! Hurry and wipe the table. I've brought a feast." "Lily, I like you. I think you were born to be my wife." "What do you think?" "Lily, I can't stand seeing you with someone else." "Lily, what do you think of me? I'm confessing my love to you." Lily probably didn't expect that a rich young master like me would be so aggressive. As the clock struck midnight on New Year's, I used sign language to wish her a happy new year. A brilliant smile spread across my face, reflecting in Lily's eyes. And so, I pursued Lily for several years until a crisis hit the Turner family, and I was arranged to study abroad. At the airport, Lily pushed through the dense crowd, running with rapid breaths. The usually composed and detached girl looked particularly disheveled. Her eyes reddened as she tightly held my hand. She signed, "I like you too. Lily likes Alex." It proved that I had succeeded, I thought. If it weren't for that tragic fire accident, Lily and I would have been together for a long, long time, growing old together. When Lily emerged from Kenji's hospital room, I was filled with resentment, puffing my cheeks as I desperately tried to blow cold air at her. Sophia, pretending to be gentle and virtuous, softly said, "Thank you." Years had passed, and this green tea was much more restrained than before. After hesitating for a moment, Sophia still felt uneasy and asked hesitantly, "You haven't wronged Alex, have you?" Lily remained silent, a hint of coldness reflected in her eyes as she signed, "No." Sophia breathed a sigh of relief and smiled. "Where's Alex? Why didn't he come with you?" Just as Lily was about to respond, her phone in her pocket buzzed incessantly. She quickly opened the screen, a fleeting look of confusion and helplessness passing through her eyes. She gestured to Sophia and hurriedly left. I should have been cursing Lily quietly in a corner. But as Lily left, I was forcibly pulled away, floating sideways. I cursed. Damn it! I just cursed Kenji. Don't interrupt my spell. Lily approached a colleague who was traveling with me on the business trip. The colleague scratched his head and said, Alex has already returned. He's on the same flight as me. Lily frowned deeply, her eyes rippling like a disturbed lake, revealing her inner turmoil. Her pale lips pressed tightly together. Her breathing suddenly became rapid. Lily took a deep breath and asked, When did Alex return to City C? Her typing fingers pressed tightly together. Her breathing suddenly became rapid. Lily took a deep breath and asked again, When did Alex return to City C? Her typing fingers trembled slightly. The reply came, 4 days ago. Upon hearing this, Lily's face turned pale. Her pupils filled with shock and confusion, frozen in place with her lips slightly parted. I held my forehead and stood in front of her, poking her head as I said, Hey, I'm right here. I extended my hand, waving it in front of her, sneering, Looking for me? What are you going to do, Lily? Why not die too? Then you can see me. Countless messages and endless phone calls flooded my phone. Realizing something was wrong, Lily finally began searching for me. She's mute, unable to speak, leaving no voice messages, and calls don't go through. She could only keep sending messages nonstop. Alex, where are you? I shook my head and replied, I'm right beside you. You've always been blind. She asked, Alex, can you come home first? I'll come find you. The word home touched my fragile nerves. I froze for a moment before slumping down by the wall not far from Lily, clutching my fists tightly, speaking word by word. Lily, I can't come home anymore. Lily went to my company, my parents' house, any colleague or friend associated with me, any place she could think of, but she still couldn't find me. On the bustling Sered streets, Lily stood amidst the crowd, clutching her phone tightly, looking somewhat lost, as if she didn't know where to go. Her weary shadow stretched long under the streetlights, adding a touch of distant loneliness. Her eyes were bloodshot, looking utterly exhausted. After a day of running around, Lily returned home, having searched every corner only to be disappointed once again. The entire house felt lifeless, unusually empty and quiet. Lily continued to contact me, gently poking my avatar. WeChat mini program notification. Lily poked your tombstone and said, Your Alex's grave grass has grown 8 feet tall. She stared at the message for a moment before her fingers began to swipe upward, reviewing each change in my message suffixes. I lingered behind Lily, suddenly finding everything uninteresting, even losing the desire to scare her. I realized that Lily wasn't entirely indifferent towards me. But sadly, the person she loved the most wasn't me. I circled around to stand in front of Lily, staring at her motionlessly. Lily's brows knitted slightly, her lips pale and cracked, her face showing signs of fatigue. Yet she remained beautiful and ethereal. Memories flashed through my mind like a revolving lantern. The first year, Lily's coldness and detachment towards me. The second year, Lily began to unconsciously watch me, her gaze lingering on me longer each time. The third year, on a snowy winter day, I trekked over mountains to find Lily out sketching, warming her cold hands inside her snow-covered cabin. The fourth year, at the airport, Lily was breathless and no longer her usual composed self. She tied the bell to my hand, promising to wait for me forever, even if it took a lifetime. The seventh year, I held her as we walked to the bedroom. Her cheeks flushed, shyly snuggling into my embrace, closing my eyes. I calmly whispered, System ended. How many days left until detachment? The electronic voice responded, 3 days remaining. Ding dong. The screen lit up. I sent Lily a message using my phone, saying, Let's break up, Lily. I'm finding someone else. I don't need you anymore. Suddenly, Lily's fingertips froze, her brows furrowing deeply, and her eyes, once 2 pools of autumn water, instantly turned icy coldness. Lily reported to the police. I was so furious, I was bouncing up and down. I cursed, break up, can't you understand? Why did you call the police? After filling out the report, Lily tightly held my photo and handed it to the officer, struggling to control her emotions. I could sense her agitation was quite intense. On the surface, she appeared calm, but internally she was on the verge of losing control. The police officer asked, "You were able to contact someone to send you messages. Are you sure he's missing?" Lily's eyes were bloodshot from exhaustion. She typed, "Alex wouldn't break up with me. He must be in trouble. He's not safe right now. Please help him." After completing her statement, Lily didn't waste any time and stood up to leave, seemingly intent on continuing her search for me, just as she was about to exit the police office. A voice called out, "Hey, wait, ma'am." A young police officer had been staring at my photo for a long time. Suddenly, his expression changed, and he loudly called out to Lily. In the next moment, his voice became very soft and cautious as he said, "Ma'am, do you see? Is this the person you're looking for?" Lily looked in the direction the officer was pointing. She stood quietly, her gaze fixed on the figure in the bottom left corner of the screen. Her expression vacant for a moment. I turned my head in confusion and saw a familiar figure in the bottom left corner of the screen. It was me. The raging fire, the chaotic fleeing crowd, me desperately shaking the bell to call for help, and Lily calmly pulling Kenji away without looking back. The footage playing was exactly the mall arson incident from 4 days ago. After a long time, Lily seemed to be in a trance, her blood color fading, her face as pale as paper. She opened her mouth. From her long, silenced throat, she painfully and hoarsely managed to utter muffled words. "Alex." Her voice was sharp and unpleasant, like serrated edges cutting across a broken string, as if the entire world was trembling upside down with her. Lily hadn't eaten or drunk anything, tirelessly searching for me in the ruins after the fire for a long time. I floated on her shoulder, making ghostly faces, indifferent. I sighed. "Stop looking for me. I'm already dead." She maintained her usual calm demeanor, asking everyone she met, "Have you seen Alex?" Using her sharp and unpleasant voice, she struggled to articulate her words. My death couldn't be kept a secret any longer. Friends from before my passing rushed to pay their respects, and Sophia, along with the discharged Kenji, arrived at the sealed-off ruins. I was speechless. What a lively scene, all here to pay their respects to me. My parents were the most heartbroken, crying so hard they choked on their sobs. Even Sophia, who didn't get along with me, couldn't help shedding a tear. Only Lily didn't cry for me. The young girl's brows were light, and she stood quietly, her fingers beside her body drawing a few scratches. The frozen scabs mixed with fresh blood. Kenji looked remorseful and said, "Lily, I'm sorry. Please don't do this." Lily turned sideways, tilting her head, and softly asked, "Have you seen Alex?" Kenji was utterly shocked, incredulous, and asked, "Lily, when did you learn to speak?" Lily didn't answer his question. She lowered her brows and eyes, murmuring to herself, "I haven't seen him. He's in pain, isn't he? Alex must be in a lot of pain. I came to find Alex and take him home, but I can't find him." On the 7th day after his death, it was Alex's funeral. Lily didn't attend my funeral. Coincidentally, I didn't want to hear the sobs and tears of those who loved me, nor did I want to see the cold disdain of those who hated me. So I lay in bed, intending to take a deep sleep, when the system informed me that after waking up, I could return to the real world. My body and mind gradually found peace. But unexpectedly, Lily stood by the bed, abruptly pulled back the covers, and without warning, lay down beside me. I glared angrily, instantly propelling myself into flight, and with a whoosh, I flew out. I was speechless. "Hey, Lily, you're lying on the side where I usually slept?" She lay in my place, covering my blanket, shamelessly burying her head in my pillow, her fingertips repeatedly touching and stroking. I was dumbfounded and angrily scolded. Scum girl, even in the last sleep, you want to disturb my peace. Lily lay on her side, completely silent, her pale lips cracked, her face showing signs of fatigue, yet she remained beautiful and ethereal. Her head was buried low, holding something tightly in her palm, clenching her teeth, desperately trying to suppress her trembling lips, shouting my name. I floated to the edge of the bed, then looked away, finding it extremely ridiculous. I said, "Lily, what is this? Repentance? Better late than never. Moreover, even if we do it again, you'll still make the same choice. Admit it, you're just a scum." Muttering the conclusion to myself, I felt inexplicably sorrowful. At least, I was about to be liberated. Alex would be reborn, and in the new life, Lily would no longer exist. Lily was sleeping restlessly. After lying for a while, she got up to the kitchen and made a plate of dumplings, which I had made in a mangled way before going on the business trip. I was forced to follow her to the kitchen, feeling confused for a moment. Suddenly, I remembered the time we quarreled, the day of the winter solstice. I had impulsively left work early, wanting to create a small romantic gesture by making her a plate of homemade dumplings. However, I ended up cooking them too badly, turning them into an inedible mass. She looked at the unappetizing thing, hesitated to pick up her chopsticks. I was enraged. These were dumplings I had made step by step, mixing the filling, seasoning, rolling the dough, wrapping them, and cooking them one by one. Not eating a single bite was too disrespectful. Where could I place my own pride? In a fit of anger, I directly fed the cooked dumplings to the neighborhood stray dog. I gritted my teeth. I feed the dog, but won't feed you. But damn it, the dog wouldn't eat either. After smelling it, the dog just shook its tail and walked away. I was furious. Lily brought the dumplings back, signing, "I eat them." My thoughts returned. Lily served 2 plates, even calmly placing my chopsticks and bowl on the dining table. She slowly ate the cooked dumplings one by one, as usual, smiling at the empty seat across, saying, "Alex, delicious." Feeling complicated, I gritted my teeth. "You're crazy." Lily washed the dishes, staring at the phone on the table, her gaze lingering on our conversation for a long time. After focusing for a long time, the young girl suddenly smiled gently and said in the direction where I was in the air, "Alex, you've always been by my side." I was startled, instinctively jumping behind the sofa. Lily was picking her fingers, staring blankly ahead. The atmosphere was immersed in sorrow. She looked up and smiled dryly, saying, "Alex, wait for me." I slowly backed away, trying to get as far from her as possible, urgently calling the system. I asked, "System, can I leave?" The system replied, "Detected that the host has been dead for 7 days now. Initiating detachment." A cold electronic voice started a countdown. 3, 2, 1, beep. Lily sat with her head down, completely quiet. I gave the young girl one last glance, turning away without any attachment. In an instant, the cold aura surrounding Lily suddenly vanished. She quickly raised her eyes, her pupils full of tears. She shouted, "Alex!" She suddenly stood up and lunged forward, waving her hands into the void, desperately trying to grab something. "Alex!" Lily's chest heaved, her throat hoarse. She vomited a mouthful of blood, staining her white dress. After a while, the young girl's clear, moist eyes finally faded into silence. That evening, at a detached villa in the suburbs, the house was engulfed in flames. Inside the smoke-filled house, Lily tightly held the pendant in her palm, as if she were clutching Alex tightly. "Alex, wait for me." Opening my eyes again, I smelled the scent of disinfectant. In the hospital room, a woman was smiling at me, telling me she was my wife. I rubbed my slightly aching temples, having no memory of her, understanding the woman's meaning. I spent a week recuperating in the hospital. On the morning of my discharge, the knot of the bell string on my wrist loosened, the crisp sound drifting far away. I was about to bend down to pick it up when another hand quickly picked it up before me. The young girl's profile was sweet and familiar, yet I couldn't recall where I'd seen her before. She picked up the bell, looked clearly, and was momentarily stunned. After a while, the young girl handed the bell to me, a gentle smile forming on her lips. She asked, "Hello? Is this yours?" In an extra chapter, Lily revealed, "My lover is Alex. I love him deeply. I love him the most. Only him. Alex seems to never realize that he is my true first love. I owe Kenji a life. Back in the orphanage, he saved me by taking a fatal blow, almost dying because of me. I have no parents. If I give this life back to Kenji, it wouldn't be bad. I started being good to him gradually. My kindness towards Kenji became a habit. Kenji asked me to pretend to be his girlfriend, and I agreed. For me, whether or not to date didn't matter. Until I met Alex. He thought our first meeting was only at my birthday party. All those feelings were clearly written on his face. Yet he thought he was being deep and brooding, arrogantly asking me, "What's your name?" A barren and lonely life was suddenly filled with sunlight, carrying the fresh and lively scent of grass. Such a wonderful person. How could I be worthy to be with him? Alex is my vibrant and bold color. The first time I saw him, my silent heart stirred slightly. I was smitten. I like him, but I'm mute. I'm not good enough for him. Later, I lived a dreamlike life. He hugged me. He kissed me. I was truly with Alex. The day I saved Kenji, I thought, finally, I had repaid Kenji a life. From then on, my life, my body, my soul, everything belonged solely to Alex. But since that day, I have been uneasy, even having several nights of nightmares. In that terrible dream, my Alex was barely alive, unable to call for help, and ultimately consumed by flames. Breaking into a sweat, I woke up from the dream. It turns out the dream was real. I completely fell into the deepest hell. I'm okay being in hell. But what about Alex? Alex must be in pain. Right, I can't find him. Let me descend into hell completely. In an extra chapter, the system revealed, "The master who created me assigned me a task to separate Alex and Lily at all costs. Make Lily a scum girl. In the real world, she couldn't split them apart, but in the virtual world, she could. Thus, Alex and Lily experienced 10 lifetimes within the reincarnation system. In every lifetime, no matter how opposed or disparate their statuses were, they would ultimately fall in love with each other. The master was furious. In the last lifetime, the master meticulously arranged someone for Lily to rely on. But Alex still fell in love with her at first sight. They overcame countless misunderstandings and finally came together. To make Alex give up completely, the master decided to take drastic measures. On the day of the mall fire, my central control system issued a ruthless command, severing all of Lily's sensory connections to Alex. Lily couldn't see Alex at all, and naturally couldn't hear Alex's cries for help. This was the most tragic lifetime for Alex. The master said she loved Alex very much. I was puzzled. I was just a string of data. I didn't understand love. But is love really like that? It seems someone once said that love should be afraid of the other person's pain. Since the master loves Alex, how could she bear to watch him die so brutally? The plan succeeded. Alex's love for Lily began to crumble due to his brutal death caused by betrayal. I separated them. The task was fully accomplished. That night of the raging fire, I watched Lily choose to end her life, desperately searching for her Alex. For the first time in my data stream, meaningless gibberish appeared. Back in the real world, I hovered in mid-air. Alex was discharged from the hospital with the master by his side. Lily appeared at another door of the hospital. They stood on opposite sides, about to miss each other. The built-in data stream began to show incomprehensible gibberish again. Beyond scientific calculation, driven by fate, I exhausted my last bit of energy, directing it towards Alex and Lily's bells. The knots untied, emotions began to stir. "Alex, my little master, I wish you happiness. I wish you no longer suffer.